if draft eligible, your best guess on Julian Sayin?
Well, it's a bad quarterback draft this year, but I think they need to see more out of him to convince themselves that the size won't matter.
His size is a problem.
Yeah, being 6'1.5", or else they'll say 6'1", 210 isn't going to be an issue. It hasn't been an issue at Ohio State yet, but I mean, he's certainly. Here's the thing: like he doesn't have all of the measurables that you overdraft somebody on. Like a year ago, people were talking about DJ Lagway being a future number one or Lenore Sellers being a future number one. It's not because of what they're doing, but it's what they could do. With Julian Sayin, you're seeing what he's doing, and like that's the reality of it, and it's all amazing. Yeah, but he's got great receivers. Well, that's every quarterback at Ohio State since Ryan Day's got been there. So like I just don't know how they feel about him being 6 foot.
But it has not really hurt him here at Ohio State this year. He's been able to overcome it for the most part, and really hasn't suffered because of it. There haven't been a lot of deflected passes, and his completion percentage has been amazing. Being in the stadium this past week at Purdue, 2 of his throws were just incredible. The one where he threw the ball to Jeremiah Smith down to the 1 yard line, and Smith kind of makes this catch falling backwards out of bounds at the 1 yard line. I could tell, I knew that Smith was covered to a degree, kind of in my side view. And when I looked back to see where the ball was on this high arc. And I knew immediately, I was like, oh my God, he's going to complete this. And he did. And the very same thing was true on the play where he rolled to his left and then threw kind of back to Smith on a post route. Same thing. I looked back to see where the ball was, and it was on a high trajectory where only his guy could get it. And 30-some yards downfield, both those plays. And those were 2 amazing throws. And maybe you see the TV doesn't follow the football a lot of times, and you can't see that. And even if you could, it's moving so fast. It's on I call it a small screen. You could have the largest screen in the world, but you're still not going to follow that football perfectly on television. Like we get at least a little bit better perspective view of it being there at the stadium. Those 2 throws were incredible from my vantage point. Just the air he put under both those football, the air and the zip, the combination of air and zip. I mean, that is a magician who can do that.
Completely agree. It's been fun watching him every single week. I think this is 3 straight weeks. He's increased his completion percentage over the, his season average, which was already, approaching 80, and it just keeps rising. And, I don't know that this UCLA defense will do much to stop him. Maybe the rain could, if there's some rain, that might slow things down and bring some numbers down. But, there's been a few times this year where, like watching from the press box, I'll see Jeremiah or Carnell break open, and then I'll go back and look to see what Julian Sayin's doing, and the ball's already gone, and then I have to go back and find it. Like, okay, well, who's he throwing to? And then it's like it's just bang bang on a lot of these throws, and that's one of the things Ryan Day says about it. Like the thing that he does best is he sees it and it goes, and they want to make sure he stays aggressive with that. And even though they only threw a few passes downfield, the 32-yarder and the 35-yarder to Jeremiah, they still ended up with over 300 yards, completing over 80% of his passes, and they took what Purdue gave them. And that's another thing about this offense. They're very patient. If you just want them to dink and dunk, they'll do that. But if you want to play aggressive like Penn State did, then they will go over the top and say, see you later.
Yeah, I look at it, and he goes into the game, let's say 78%, 80%, and you're like, oh, this has to lower his number. And then you look on the stat sheet that he completed 81% of his passes. You're like, oh, no, it went up. Oh, he completed 83% of his passes. Oh, my God, it went up. His percentage just keeps going up and up and up and up. He'll be like 83 or 84% by the end of the year at this rate. But Yeah, he's putting this lead in this record way out of reach. I presume this is going to be a record for X number of attempts, but guess we'll get there when the time comes.